Okay guys, today is the last lesson of chapter 9 and then you guys take your test. Tomorrow you're going to do a practice test. You're going to do test A with Mr. Will and going through each problem one by one, making sure you understand how to answer it. Today you are going to do 9.7. We're on page 395 in your textbooks. And for today what we're going to do is we're going to take everything that you've learned so far and put it all together. So we're going to have some patterns. We're going to identify the patterns. Then we're going to make the ordered pairs. And then we're going to graph the ordered pairs onto a coordinate plane. So today's lesson should be fairly easy, fairly simple for you. I understand that a lot of you are understanding all of the work, but you're still struggling with breaking down the word problem. So please pay attention as we go through these sample problems together. Make sure you understand where am I getting the numbers from and why I am saying what I'm saying. So that way when you do your homework, you're able to read these word problems. If you notice, every single problem in this unit has been word problems. Okay, so I want you to make sure that you are paying very close attention. All right, so let me turn on my highlighter right. Sasha is making hot cocoa for a party. For each mug of cocoa, he uses 3 tablespoons of cocoa mix and 6 ounces of hot water. If Sasha uses an entire 18 tablespoon container of cocoa, how many fluid ounces will he use? So we're going to use the 2 given rules in the problem to generate the first 4 terms. So it says 4 terms. That means we're going to have 4 ordered pairs that we're going to be graphing. Okay, so how many tablespoons of cocoa does Sasha add for each mug? Here we get the number there, so it's plus 3 for our x. This is the value of x. And then what is the value of water? It is plus 6. That's for the value of y. So cocoa is x and water is y. And we want to look to see what is the rule. How do we get from here to here? Well, 3 times what equals 6? It should be 3 times 2. Yes, 3 times 2. Okay, so the next one, we know this is going to be 6 because it's 3 plus 3. Now 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. And we're missing the one that would be 15. You're skipping one in this problem. So know that that's where the next one's going to be. The first 4, then we skip 15, and then we go to 18 because that's what the question is, how many ounces of water will we use? And then we're going to just simply times all of our x values by 2 to get our y value. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. 9 times 2 is 18. 12 times 2 is 24. And 18 times 2 is 36. Okay. So then we just simply write our ordered pairs. Remember, each ordered pair has to be in parentheses. So 3, 6 is done for you. So then we write 6, comma 12. We write 9, comma 18. And then we write 12, comma 24. Yours will probably fit a little bit better than mine because you're writing with your hand, not a mouse. Okay, 12, 24. Alright, so we're done with step 1 and we're done with step 2. So step 3 says graph and label the ordered pairs and then write the rule to describe how the numbered pairs are related. And so our rule is what we said here. We say for three tablespoons cocoa, Cocoa. That's an O, by the way. For 3 tablespoons of cocoa, what do we have to do? Multiply by what? By 2. Multiply water. Ugh, it's very hard to write this. By 2. Alright, so for 3 tablespoons of cocoa, multiply water by 2. And then we just have to graph our ordered pairs. And it's quite easy because they've already labeled it. Our X is our cocoa mix, our Y is our water. So we simply go over X3, up 6 for the first one. Okay, the next one is 612, over 6, up 12. And it makes sense, our graph should be going up because the more mix we have, the more water we have. That makes sense. Next one, 918, over 9, up 18. Then we have 1224, over 12, up 24. And you see how we get this pattern? It's the same distance between each interval, which makes sense because we said each time we're multiplying it by 2. And then our last one is 18, and that is 36. Okay. So Sasha will use how many ounces of water if he uses all of the cocoa mix? That answer is right here. It's the 36. So I'm going to write the 36 here because as you can see, if I write it on the line, you won't be able to read it. So I'm going to put it over here. Then we're going to draw a line between the points. Okay. What do the connected points form? You should write that it forms a straight line. And why do you think that this is a straight line? Why isn't this crooked? Why isn't it going up and down? Like before we learned that we make these line plots with the line when we're looking at something that changes over time. And yet here we have it going straight, not going all around. Why is it straight? Anybody know? So it's straight because we have an even pattern. For everything here, we go plus 3. For here, it's always plus 12. It's not changing, so we can always multiply x by y to get this. So if we have 21 tablespoons of cocoa mix, we already know how many fluid ounces we're going to be able to have. We know it's going to be 42 because it's always going to be 2 times this. So because we have this kind of equation, so to speak, this pattern, it's going to be a straight line. Okay? All right, great, wonderful. I'm going to X this out and then go down to the next page. We have another one very similar to what we just did. Let's go ahead and look. John is customizing an audio sound system. He needs to buy 3.5 feet of cable wire, but it's sold in inches. He knows there are 12 inches in 1 foot. How many inches of wire will he need? So he knows there's 12 inches in 1 foot, and he needs 3.5 feet. Okay, so that means he needs to buy probably 4 feet. Okay, so that way he knows. So how do we get from 1 to 12? Multiply the number of feet by 12. So we have to know those 12 times tables. 2 times 12 is 24. 3 times 12 is 36. And 4 times 12, 48. Okay, so he's going to need to buy these 4 feet, okay, in order to get his 3.5 feet, because what he needs is right in here, right in the middle of the 3 and the 4, okay. So let's look here. We have to write the numbered pairs, the ordered pairs. So remember, put them into parentheses. And here's your first one. Here's your second one. Here's your third one. And here's your fourth one. Go ahead and write those down now. Okay, I'm just going to put the little parentheses. I'll do one for you to remind you, but you should go ahead and write this down. And it's very important, guys, that when you're doing these word problems, you're going through all the steps. Remember, I make you show all of your work, and what I'm hearing is that on your homework, you're trying to skip this step. You're trying not to draw the table. I have a feeling that this is probably JJ and Stepan and Pecco and Ace and Gabriella, because I know you guys often try to skip showing your work. It is very important that you show your work. If you do not show your work, you cannot get full points for the question. You will not be able to pass on the test. It's very important that you show your work because one of your TSWs is that you are able to explain how you got the answer. Drawing this table and showing your rule, that's how you show and explain how you got your answer. So make sure you are going through these steps. You are not skipping these steps. I am hearing every single day about how you are skipping these steps, and it's making me very sad because we've spent 75% of the year this year talking about showing your work every single time. All right, step 2, graph the ordered pairs. Connect the points from the origin with straight line segments. So, half a feet, this is 6 inches. 1 feet is 12 inches, okay? And so on and so on and so on. So we have 124. No, sorry, we have 112. I wrote that one down wrong. Beep. My bad. 112. Probably somebody caught that. Okay, 112. Then we have 224. Then you have 336. And you have 448. And you're making straight line segments. And why is it a straight line again? Who remembers from what we just said? Why is it straight and not going up and down? Yes, it's perfectly straight because we have this pattern. We have this rule. It's the same each and every time. So now we're going to use this graph to find the number of inches in 3.5 feet. 3.5 is between the whole numbers 3 and 4. So we're going to draw a line from 3.5 to the line that connects the ordered pair. So here's 3.5. You draw a line going up, 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 up. Where it meets, that's your point. Where they cross. And if we go over to the Y, we can see that that is at 42. Okay, so the ordered pair for 3.5 is 3 1/2, comma, 42. Okay. Make sure you know how to do this. This will be on the test, and it is important that you're showing me this work of how you got it. Okay, moving on. I would like for you now to do this page 397 on your own. Mr. Will, go ahead and pause the video and then press play when you're ready to see the answers. Okay, if you have gotten all of these correct, then I want you to work on the homework pages. You're going to work on the homework pages for 9.7, both the regular page and the review page, both sides. And it's very important that you're paying attention to the word problems. So go ahead and do this and then check the answers in just a moment. Okay, so you can see that I filled in all of the pattern and the rules, and then I graphed these two here. Make sure that on your graphs you have the ordered pairs because it does say graph and label the related numbered pairs. Okay, so make sure that you have done all of that. I didn't graph these two because I couldn't see the bottom on my screen, but again, it should be a linear line going up like this. Okay, so Mr. Will check your graphs and make sure they're 100% complete. Your homework is to do 9.7, both pages, and I will be back to